We're here at Trout Creek Campground here in Madras, Central Oregon, run by the BLM, Bureau of Land Management, Lower Deschutes National Wild and Scenic River. Let's go take a look at the campsites. Coming up to spot one here. Long driveway. That's cool. And, ooh, I think I see two picnic tables. This is probably a doubler. Kind of the old model of campgrounds is you have one or two picnic tables, determines if it's a single or double site. This is presumably then a double site, considering the long driveway. The two picnic tables absolutely makes sense. It's a double site. And look at this. Two picnic tables, fire pit obviously behind them, between them, right there. And look at this access to Lower Deschutes River, National Wild and Scenic River. This is gorgeous. Love that juniper tree straight ahead, kind of framing the perspective. Come on down here, you're on the edge of the campground, so you don't have anybody this way. And look at that perspective of the river from right here. That is gorgeous. Get a long, expansive scope shot of the beautiful Lower Deschutes River, National Wild and Scenic River. This is gorgeous. I would probably situate my chairs over here somewhere. And you're right on the end of the campground, so you got maximum privacy. Got your own swath of Lower Deschutes River to yourself. This is beautiful, my friend. This is epic. Look over here. So let's take a perspective from the campsite. So here's where you're at. This is your domain. You do have two right next to you straight ahead. So if you really want to be bold, if you have a big group, you can grab one and two. One's a double, two's a single. And then you have this wing of the campground all to yourself. That could be pretty cool. You wouldn't really have any other campers in your business. The main road of the campground goes over there a little bit, but that shouldn't be too much of an annoyance. So that's my recommendation. Grab the whole wing to yourself. If you've got a double and you just want to do campsite one, be on the edge, that works. But if you really want a huge privacy play, grab one and two. 3 and 4 are a ways down there, long road between them. So you're basically capturing a wing of the campground for yourself. So that might be the best group situation here. I'm still reviewing all the sites, so I'll say at the end what I think. But right now I'm really loving grabbing 1 and 2 as a group wing of the campground play. Maximum privacy and maximum beauty, capturing a huge swath of Lower Deschutes River, National Wild and Scenic River to yourself. This might end up being over here at the end of one of the best viewing zones of the entire campground. I mean, this is pretty epic. Put my seats over here, a couple of chairs, Cabela chairs, whatever you have, and come down here and enjoy this beautiful river. Kind of a lazy portion of the river. This isn't a white water rapid section, but it's actually kind of medium pace. It's not a lazy, slow river either. It's got a little bit of a sense of urgency to it. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is campsite number 2 here at Trout Creek Campground, Central Oregon, Madras, run by the BLM. And let's come take a look. First of all, let me give you the sight lines. This is the main turnoff into the campground. You got a driveway to 1 over there, so you can see the picnic table, so it's not entirely private, but not horrible. You got your picnic table, you got your fire pit. Here's your sign for 2. That road takes you down to 3 and 4 down there. Go check out, I love this juniper tree, by the way, this is gorgeous. Check out your sight lines of National Wild and Scenic Lower Deschutes River. That's pretty gorgeous. So you do have a good swath of river right next to you. This is your main viewing spot right here. A lot of the other sections that come down here, a little obstructed by the trees. I'm sure if you went down under these trees, you could probably get beautiful views, but you don't have a huge wide range of viewing. Here's your tree and your picnic table, even a walking stick left for you. 1 is over there. So I'd say 2 is decent. I'd say okay privacy. You're right next to 1, so that's an issue. 3 and 4 are down there enough that they're not going to be up in your business. You got to worry about 3 and 4. So Here's my recommendation. If you can get 1 and 2 as a group situation, this is kind of a wing of the Trout Creek Campground, then this whole area will be your domain. World is your oyster. Got a restroom. Here we are on 3 and 4. 3 is on the right here. This is obviously one of the worst sites because it's not on the riverside. I will also say, look at the proximity. Got 4 right here, 3 right here. Please bear in mind, today's January 30th, 2024. This pool of water will not be here. It is in the middle of winter and freezing and foggy. This also allowed me to come and review all these right now when nobody's here. So 4 is pretty awesome on its own merits. Look, you got the raging, roaring Lower Deschutes River, National Wild and Scenic River, moseying on by, flowing downstream. And look at this. You got your own direct shoreline access. A little steep there, but most able-bodied people will be able to do it. You can get right down to the shoreline. Got multiple access points here along the river. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is spot 4. So this is pretty awesome. And you see all this river access. But having 3 right here is pretty awful. So my recommendation would be you grab 3 and 4. 3 is more of a defensive block. Like you grab both of them and get a group. Obviously the group's gonna hang out on this side. On 4, put your tents where you want. Basically you're all sharing 4, but you've grabbed 3 just as a defensive play so you don't have some strangers up in your business. That's how I would handle 3, 4. Look at this site. This is 5 here at Trout Creek Campground, Madras, Central Oregon, run by the BLM, Bureau of Land Management. But look at how amazing this site is. Can I interest you in a national wild and scenic river? I'm standing here on the banks of Lower Deschutes River here in Madras, Central Oregon, and we are at Trout Creek Campground. This is spot 5. And look at this premium access to Lower Deschutes River. I gotta say, this is a particularly wide section of the river. I know the river well, and it's typically not this thick and wide. Look at this access. Let me walk up closer. You got your picnic table, you got your fire pit. Imagine you just sitting here and relaxing and enjoying this beautiful, lazy section of river. Come down here, and not really a shoreline situation. Like this isn't a beach situation, so I wouldn't look at it that way. But it is a beautiful area just to sit and admire the gorgeous Lower Deschutes River. As far as sight lines, you do have 4 down there. I wouldn't say that's a deal breaker. That's a pretty good distance away. Based on where you place your tent, etc., you could probably create a good privacy line. So pretty private. Probably a bigger issue is you do have the road coming by right by your campsite as people mosey on by to their campsites. But hey, to have premium river access like this, I'd say that's a trade-off well worth it. We're here at the boat dock, Trout Lake Campground, Madras, Central Oregon. That right there is the mighty Lower Deschutes River, National Wild and Scenic River. It's operated by BLM, Bureau of Land Management. This, my friend, is the boat ramp. You can see it is not paved. It's gravel, but it is matted down gravel. Looks very usable. Got a little picnic table on the right, little day use section you can use while you're trying to load your boat and launch your boat. And look at this. This is pretty darn epic. Whether you're fishing, whether you're just enjoying some lazy river, this is epic. Here's campsite number 6. Cool tree, picnic table, fire pit. Atrocious privacy lines because you got one right there, oh, and one right there, and one right there, and one right there. And then to your left, oh, you got one right here. Look at how close this is, and this is. Look at how close you could literally play like a game tossing from one fire pit to the next. This is, I mean, keeping it real, I'm very impressed by this campground overall, but this is atrocious. 6 is just crammed in here. I call those revenue plays where they just want to stick as many in as they can. But this is not a premium site. You got the bathroom and you got the shade. Okay, those are in the plus column. But if you are a person who has any value of your privacy whatsoever, then you will not be picking 6. The only way a group area like this works when you got like 6 or 7 campsites in one little huddle is if you have like a massive group, a Boy Scouts of America type deal, and you all just like take over this wing of the campground. Then you don't really care about the privacy. But If you're individual private parties here with your family, then you are awkwardly miserable the entire time because you're not really getting that private secluded feel that you were seeking. So we're doing Site 7, Trout Creek Campground, Madras, Central Oregon, run by the BLM. Before I walk through the site, I will point out you're right on the edge of the boat dock, the boat ramp. So you're gonna have a bustle of activity, a lot of backing up sounds, beep, beep, beep. Could be a little annoying, but look at the actual site itself. 7, good privacy lines. You're right on the edge of the river, the shore bank, Lower Deschutes River National Wild and Scenic River. As far as privacy lines with other campsites, the closest ones are over there and you got a good distance. So I don't think any other campers are gonna be your concern. Here's your fire pit. Outstanding canopy shade, look at this. Massive juniper. And I'm digging how shaded this is, particularly if you come here July, August, September, it's like 90, 100 degrees, you're gonna want the shade. Another massive juniper on the other side of this. So home run as far as the shade canopy, probably the best here out of the 25 sites. Perspective, there's your fire pit from your picnic table. Let's go check out your shoreline access. I will say right there is probably a good place to put your tent, I'm guessing. I don't think that juniper's going anywhere. It looks old and ancient and hardy and sturdy. So come down here, there is your shoreline access. Pretty direct from the site. And again, this is Lower Deschutes River, National Wild and Scenic River. As it moseys on by. I wouldn't say this is a whitewater rapid section, but not quite a lazy river section. I'd say a moderate flow. I'm standing here at Site 7, here at Trout Lake Campground, Madras, Central Oregon, operated by the BLM, Bureau of Land Management. And this is probably the best canopy covered site here. You have, as you can see straight ahead, direct access to Lower Deschutes River, National Wild and Scenic River. And you've got a great place to put your tent right over there beneath this behemoth ancient juniper. And I will walk over here, give a couple of other perspectives. There's your fire pit. And here's another juniper, giving you more canopy cover. So between being nestled between two junipers and your shoreline access, I think this is a pretty epic site. Probably my one ding against it is if you look in this direction, that is your boat ramp, boat launch. So if you're a boater, hey, this is very convenient. But if you're just like a family trying to get a secluded wilderness experience, you are gonna have that feeling that you're next to a parking lot and hear a lot of talking and cars and backing up and boats. And so if that's a detractor for you, if you're really trying to get your own swath of silent pin drop nature, then that would be a deal breaker. But if you're a boater, then hey, Site 7, Trout Creek Campground, BLM operated, Lower Deschutes River, pretty darn epic. Here's campsite 8, picnic table, fire pit, interesting sagebrush, not a lot of canopy cover. Do have this juniper tree. Privacy lines, you got Site 9 right next to you, like right in your business. So your closest is to 8. Not direct shoreline access, but you could walk like 100 feet over there and be on the shoreline. So that's a plus. Not only is 9 in the way, but so you got another one over there and you got 10 and 6 across the way. You do have good access to the bathrooms, but I'd say because of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sites, right, kind of in your business, that would be a deal breaker for me. I would not stay at 8. I don't think the slight access to the river offsets 5 groups kind of within your personal space. I think there are better campsites here. Here's campsite number 9. Looks can be deceiving because right now it probably looks pretty awesome. You got the river behind us raging by, Lower Deschutes River, National Wild Scenic River. You got some good tree cover, you got the picnic table, and you got the fire pit. But oh look, you got 8 right here. And oh look, you got like 11 right there. And all of a sudden it's a lot less attractive because you got 2 people right on top of you. If that wasn't bad enough, across the little forest road here, you got sites 10 and 6 on top of each other and both on top of you. And then you have one over there as well. So you have literally 5 or 6 sites all within direct line of sight of Site 9. Otherwise, Site 9 would be premium. If this was just Site 9 and there was nobody around in either direction, then I would say Site 9 was epic. But once you realize there's 5 or 6 groups all within line of sight, then you realize that this is a fishbowl effect. And if you care at all about privacy, lines, and seclusion, I would not recommend 5. I'm sorry, 9. This is 9. I'm going to come down here. It's a rehabilitation area, no launching. The fact that that sign has been there for a while means that that is a long-term thing. It's not a temporary makeshift sign. That is a multi-decade sign. So that means we can still walk because this is right on the trail. I will come over here and look at that. Campsite 10. You're not seeing it correctly. That's a different site right next to it. You got your fire pit and you got your picnic table. And oh, what is that right there? Again, this is not a double site. That is a different site. That is site 6. You can see the sign on the right there to the right of the picnic table. So you have literally, I don't think I've ever seen, this might win my award for the worst spacing of a couple of sites I've ever seen at any campground anywhere in the contiguous 48 states. You literally have another site like 8 or 10 feet away from you. This is not a double. This is 2 separate sites. Imagine getting one of these, bringing your family, looking, wanting to have some epic Davy Crockett style wilderness adventure, and you get here and you didn't look ahead of time, and you literally, there's another family like 10 feet away from you. That's kind of like the premise of a Chevy Chase movie. Not good, and I would obviously not recommend these sites. I'm not trying to bash Trout Creek Campground. There's actually some premium sites here. Overall, I'm impressed by the campground. But just like every campground, they've got some winter sites and some not so winter sites. These would be not so winter sites. Campsite number 11, Trout Creek Campground, Central Oregon. So you got people straight ahead. You can see a fire pit. This is your picnic table, your tree, and your fire pit. You got 13 right next to you. You got 12 right next to you. You got 6 right next to you. Don't understand the numbering, but it is what it is. This is so fishbowled that you're like this is more of community living than it is camping. You do have the river right there. You're not right on the shoreline. You don't have a money shot from, we'll say, your campground, but you do have ready access. So access to river is decent. It's not a shoreline site on that level. Good shade. Let me pan up and show you this cool juniper tree. Nice tree. I mean, epic. So you got good shade and you got decent access. Privacy lines at site 11 are a killer though. Pan around here. You got like five or six picnic tables within line of sight. Here's site 12. 12 wins for the most epic juniper tree. That's pretty cool. And pretty good shade consequently underneath the juniper tree. See the picnic table in your fire pit. Beyond that though, I would not pick 12. I will mention there's restrooms right there, so that's great. So shade and restrooms, those are in the W column. As you can see, you got friends all within throwing distance, shouting distance, actually low voice distance. So you continue to pan around. 11 right there and 10 right there. So this is a cluster of sites right here, which I'm not a fan of, so I would not pick this one. No shoreline access, which just frankly to me is why you come to the river. Here is site 13, and got a little bit of canopy cover from that massive juniper. That's cool, but beyond that, of course you got your picnic table, you have your fire pit, some cool sagebrush. I guess if you walked 100 or 200 feet, you'd be at the river, but you're not right on the shoreline. You got this road right next to you, so you don't even really have that indented feel that you're away from the road. You got 14 right across the way. You can pretty much play catch with him. Looking around here, this is a very exposed area. I think 13 is not a good site. I would not recommend that one. Here's 14. Again, I consider camping in the dirt. You got no shoreline access. You got no canopy cover. Site 15, Trout Creek Campground. And this one's actually right on the river. This might be a good one. You got your fire pit, you got your picnic table right underneath that massive juniper. And definitely have more of a feeling of privacy on this side. Let's go down and see our Lower Deschutes River, National Wild and Scenic River Shoreline access. Ooh. Going over here, dip my head underneath the branches. You got your own private access. Look at this. Not too shabby. Look at this. Good right there. Feels like you can just walk right into the water. This is pretty awesome, I gotta say. This is Site 15, Trout Creek Campground, Bureau of Land Management, Madras, Oregon. And you're standing right on the shoreline. Let me show you. Like literally, it feels like the trail just walks into the water. Kind of almost comical, but I love it. I'm digging it. It's a cool vibe. Here is 16, the sign's a little fallen down. Nothing special about this one. You got your fire pit and you got your picnic table. No shade, no river access, wouldn't recommend. Spot 17, see a juniper tree, no shade cover, no river access. So I call that camping in the dirt. I would not recommend 17. Here is campsite number 18. It's a doubler. See picnic tables. So you're kind of at an intersection of the road here. Probably a bathroom right there, which is great, but you got a road on that side, a road on this side, no canopy as far as shade. This is the high desert, so it's gonna get like 90, 100 degrees in July or August. So you're gonna be hot, my friend, unless you bring your own shade, and you're a ways away from the river. So not a good site. Here is campsite number 19. Another one of these, not shoreline, no canopy. You can make it work in a pinch, but not a destination site. Do not recommend that. Campsite number 20, kind of what I call a camping in the dirt campsite. There's no shoreline access, no canopy. You can make it work, but not a destination site. Campsite 22, kind of right here in the middle of this sagebrush. Nothing special, no shoreline access. Campsite 23. Got your picnic table, your fire pit, got some pretty epic juniper trees, but you can see you got the road running right by your site. You don't have shoreline access, so 23 is make it work, but not destination site. Here's campsite number 24. You see a fire pit and your picnic table. You do have a little bit of shade. Pretty epic juniper tree. Beyond that, really no access to the river, so I would not recommend the site. Spot 25, Trout Creek Campground. Now this one is on the inside. It's not right on the shoreline of Lower Deschutes River. It doesn't have good canopy cover if you're worried about the heat. It's got a kind of an interesting tree in the middle there, but beyond that, when you pan over, you got the parking for the boat ramp, boat launch area. So this is gonna be a whirlwind of activity. So you got some parking on this side. So you're gonna hear the sound of trucks backing their boats into Lower Deschutes River all day. You have no privacy, so you're fishbowled. You got no privacy lines, and you got no shade. I gotta say, unless for some reason there's a benefit to being like right next to the boat launch, logistically, I would absolutely not pick this site if I'm just like a single party with my family trying to have a secluded wilderness experience. Not a good site, so I'd pan this site. We're here at Lower Deschutes River, National Wild and Scenic River, here in Madras, Central Oregon. And coming up to a pretty epic day use spot, but I always love stopping and checking out these placards. I'll leave it right here, you can pause it. If you want to read that, I'll get a little closer. You can pause that if you want to read that. We've got ethereal fog rolling down from the canyon, obscuring our hills. We've got the roaring and raging Lower Deschutes River moseying on by. Standing here at a pretty epic day use site here on the edge of Trout Creek Campground, east side of Deschutes River, Madras, Central Oregon Bureau of Land Management. Got a pretty cool placard here, and I'll pan over here to the left. We've got the trailhead for Trout Creek Trail, which hugs the shoreline of lower Deschutes River. This, my friend, absolutely beautiful. As I drove by, something about this sign struck me. Future generations will remember us for the roads we don't build. Stuart Udall. I think there's a lot of truth to that.